Hello everybody, Jack Saunders from Box to Belly here. Today we're plucking ducks. I hope I said that in the right order. Now I know what you're thinking, we must be quackers, but come on. The cameraman's looking at me as if to say, no more bad jokes please Jack. Anyway, no more wisecracks. Stop it, or else we'll just get the bill. Come and have a look. Here we've got two male birds and a female duck there. I've done the other female duck earlier because it's been a while since I've done this and I wanted to get me practicing before I started showing the world. They're not ducks, they're dogs, shivering and quivering because it's quite cold out here, thinking I must be mad plucking these ducks out in here. But we've got there the three ducks. Now I'm going to do one bird, probably a big bird, a male duck. I'm going to probably pluck the whole thing, and I'm going to expose all the breast and all the legs and everything and have that as a bird so I can roast it. And then I'm going to probably do with this other one, I'm going to probably just expose the legs there and the breast and cut the legs and the breast, and I'll show you how to do that. It's a new way I've not tried before, but we're going to try and test it here at Box to Belly because we're quite experimental like that. Right, over to the business. So a quick run through the tools and ingredients. It looks like some sort of sadistic operating table does this, but anyway, got a little bowl of water. You don't really want to wet the bird because she'll get sticky feathers, but that's just to rinse my hands if I need it. You've got here a glove, and it's got like this plasticky latex material on, and when we remove the outer feathers and get down to the duck down, that makes it easy just to wipe the bird off and get all those little stubborn feathers away. I've got a blowtorch there. Now I've got some garden shears there. I have washed them. I've got a dirty knife, as we've explained in previous videos. That's for going, well, it's not dirty, it's clean now, but I call it a dirty knife because I'm going to be cutting the outer skin of the bird, like the legs and the wings off that. And then for the clean meat, I'm going to use my knife, my clean sharp knife. Hopefully it's sharp. Yes it is. Right, first thing to do, get your bin there. Always have a bin to hand, and I like to start on the back because if you damage the skin here, it doesn't really matter when you're presenting it as a whole bird on the plate. So just get a feel for it and start pulling feathers off the back, and then when you've got the use to that, then, and imagine, let's, by the power of television we'll do this, but let's imagine we've took all the feathers off there, then turn it over to its breast when you feel comfortable that you're not going to rip the skin and you get a bit of a feel for it, and then start pulling the feathers off the breast. You don't have to watch me do this. Now if you just wait a minute, if you just come in here and have a look, you see they're the outer feathers, and then underneath here is the duck down. That comes off in your fingers, and you try and expose the breast meat, well, the whole bird in this method, as much as possible. You don't have to watch me doing that. We'll come back when I've fully defeathered the duck. Right, we're back here, and I've took the majority of the feathers and the down off the back and the breast. That's a good example to use this glove. Here's a good example, and that just gets the the remaining down off. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not painting the Sistine Chapel at this stage. Now it's absolutely typical. I'm going to try and show you on a bird how I preserve the wings, but that's been shot and it's broke like that, and also the legs broke when it's probably hit the ground or been shot. So I'll do it on one side, and then I'll show you here's one I prepared earlier. I'll show you a bird that I prepared earlier, and I'll show you how I present it as a dressed bird. But for this, I'll just show you how we do it. So instead of plucking all the wings off, I get the dirty knife first because we're cutting into a bit of feather, and then to preserve, because these birds are these ducks are wild, you see, so they're not big farmed fat things, which are really nice as well, but these are wild, so you want to preserve the breast meat as much. So without cutting into the breast meat, just take a nick off the wing here, above and below, and then pull that meat from the arm and pull it right back to the joint there, and you can nick the joint at the back and pop your knife in and take it off cleanly. I can't do that with that one because it's broke, but that's how I like to present it, and that preserves that breast meat. Now over to the leg. I'll just do one side. Over to the legs. Find the joint there, just like a chicken leg, and you score it on that side, and then you cut it on the joint again, on that side. Watching fingers. Now, as I say, that's being shot off, so I've had to take the wing and that leg that were broke just a bit further. But here's one I made earlier, and that is a pretty good, well-dressed, pretty intact bird. That's from a female, so it's a little bit lighter. But you see, you've got the wings there. That's how I like to present them. And you've got two intact legs. We'll go ahead and finish this one off. Right, so we've done that. Next step is, that's the dirty knife now. With your clean knife, because you're cutting meat, you can take the neck off. Now you can feel where the breastbone is there, and just go ahead, slice it. I can feel a little bit of corn in its, look, it's been eating some sort of corn there. They look like acorns, don't they? Anyway, there's loads of them. Somebody shot it mid-meal. How inconvenient. Anyway, cut through, that's the esophagus. And you can pull that out later. But cut round the skin. And just nip the neck off with your meat shears, or garden shears in this case. Head goes in the bin, so does the wing. Get rid of the acorns. And then what I like to do is, so this bird's still got its guts in, it's got a few feathers on, but we'll tend to that now actually. And the easiest way to do this, they used to wax them, but this is the better way I think to do it. Singeing the hairs off. Moving the flame all the time so that we don't start cooking the bird. So once you've got it, just pat it down again. We can keep doing this till there's heart's content, but we're not going to. I'm going to get on with it and show you how to do it. So, where the bottom of the bird is there, I just like to make a bit of an incision. Now, you've got to tread very lightly with your knife because you don't want to cut through the intestines. And what I do is I like to go down here and just cut around. That's the anus. You've got to cut around the anus, like so. Just take it all back. There's different methods of doing this. This is how I like to do it. Leaving the parson's nose on. Don't penetrate the guts there, but basically all you do is you put your hand in, like so. A little bit gruesome for those who are squeamish, look away now. But hand in over the innards and just pull everything out over a bin, like so, trying not to burst everything. That's the heart, absolutely delicious duck hearts. And basically, you just clean everything out of there. Now, the things that will be stuck to the rib cage, the little light pink things, the cameraman is gipping, are the lungs. So you just want to keep just going away at that and trying to remove everything. Now, it is worth mentioning that when you're putting your hand in here, if it's being shot in the breast, you might have some broken ribs. Just watch your hand. So I've pulled away at that. Forgive the gruesomeness. It's, it's not as bad as it all seems. But after you've done all that, just lastly with the blowtorch, any last stragglers. I'm rushing here a little bit, but it'll be okay. Feathers add to the flavour. Right, without telling Mother, let me get this off, health and safety first. Without telling Mother, we'll go into her Belfast sink and wash them. This is the best way to do it, and you just basically, after you've got the innards out, rinse them under the tap. It's a little bit gruesome, but we're all meat lovers, hopefully. And I just like to rinse everything off, like so. Plate, please, cameraman. Put it on side. So I know all that was a little bit gruesome, and I do apologise. It is worth saying that I've not gone down to the local pond and just caught these 4 ducks and started plucking them in my back garden. These have been shot on a very professional, legitimate shoot, and they have been gifted to me. Now, all the gruesome stuff is out of the way. I think they look absolutely perfect. We've put a little bit of rosemary on because we are a little bit pretentious, but minus the broken leg and the broken wing. That's the female one. That looks a bit better. I think, considering I've not done those for a few years, I'm very pleased with those, and I'm very much looking forward to eating them. we'll come back and do a cooking sketch with them at another point.